Good afternoon, fans. It's your girl from Mel'S Mat Chat, and this is episode 328 of the podcast. How is everybody's Friday going today? Mine's going pretty decently. I've had some family issues, but you know what? They've kind of fizzled out this weekend. I can actually breathe and enjoy myself this weekend. I kind of need it. So, yeah, I've just been crazy busy all week. Hey, Terry. See, you get to chat. But I've had a crazy week. I had doctor's appointments. I've had family stuff going on, but everything is now copacetic and I can enjoy the rest of my fucking weekend. What do you call that? There was a bit of news that came out today about Ashley Massaro, about the claims of her alleged rape and the whatnot, and about Stephanie knowing everything. And I gotta get rid of this or move this. And okay. I'm not going to comment on anything until there is more to it, until she confirms it or she had really nothing going on and she really didn't know about it and stuff. I'm not going to comment. Allegedly, she knew about it. I'm not going to, state claims. I mean, John Laurinaitis had confirmed the whole situation, but didn't name Stephanie. So that could be, the component that she really didn't know. And even if she didn't know, her hands are tied at the present time. Her father was the owner of the company, ergo her boss. So she was just doing what she was being telling to do. So for right now, let's leave Stephanie McMahon Levesque alone. Oh, I gotcha. So anyway, that is that. We have such great stuff coming up. We got Revolution, which I'm going to be covering. Don't worry about it. But at least I get to do it at a normal fucking time. I could do it on a Sunday morning. I could get up early, do the preview predictions, and I could actually enjoy the rest of my Sunday instead of doing the preview predictions on a Saturday and having to race around through it. So you could get it at Sunday morning, do the preview and predictions, and then I'm doing the review on Monday morning. You're out of your fucking mind. So thank you, Terry. That is so sweet. Thank you. So I that's that. Now next week, scheduling. Thursday or Wednesday, depending on what's going on in my schedule this week. Either Thursday or Wednesday, I will be doing episode 329 on the for the episode, because Friday night I gotta go live right after SmackDown around 10:15 to do preview predictions of the Elimination Chamber in Perth, Australia. So I have to do this because then as soon as I come home, I'm gonna go right to the review and then I'm going to enjoy the rest of my fucking Saturday. So that will be that. So we're going to start off with AEW today. We're going to spice it up. It's Friday. I am looking damn good today. You know what? For the people who call me fat, sweetheart, I'm making progress, people. I've lost 45 pounds. All right. And it's just going to get even sweeter because I'm going to drop even more. And then for the people who are going to tell me that I'm fat, I love my curves. And you know what? All the men that are in my life that are friends and trying to persuade me to choose them, they love my curves too. Yeah. Little do you know, a lot of guys like BBWs. And I'm certainly big, beautiful woman in every sense of the way. If you don't believe me, ask my 18-year-old son. All right. Ask the guys that I've been with that I've never had any fucking complaints. I may be 41, but I got a sex drive of an 18-year-old little girl. I just had to get that out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the haters that hate me. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. And you know what? You would you would be paying top dollar to be with me. Okay. Anywho, let's move on. Please do me a favor and go check out the people over at Maestro Classics at maestroclassics.com. Go get all your beard essentials for the man you are deeply in love with, for the father that you cherish, for the brothers that drove you nuts, and for the sons that look like crap at like 8, 17, 18 years old that you can't even get them in the shower, and all the other men folk in your life. Get all your beard essentials at maestroclassics.com. Please do me a favor. If you're seriously wanting to murder your thirst and you need the artillery to do it, please do me a favor and go check out the people over at Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com. Get all your ammunition where you can get um, unflavored spring water, unflavored seltzer water, flavored seltzer water, iced tea, and they just came out with electrolyte packs, brand new. So that would be perfect in your Liquid Death unflavored sparkling water. So go check that out. Seriously, you are, and if you're an adult, please drink responsibly, and those are perfect for mixers. Also, if you're a coffee aficionado just like myself, please go check out the people over at Death Wish Coffee at deathwishcoffee.com. Visit their website for your coffee essentials, your coffee, and do yourself a favor. If you're into skulls and just being goth and drinking that coffee, you'll be in good hands with Death Wish Coffee. Also, please go check out the people over at, if you support local professional wrestling, please go check out, and I got to get this stupid tweet out. Sorry, give me a minute. Please go check out the people over at HOG Wrestling, House of Glory. They are doing some big things in the next couple of months. And that will be on March, I believe it's March 25th, if I'm not mistaken. If that's the day, oh, no, it's March 2nd. HOG Reckoning. We have the debuts of Mustafa Ali versus former TNA champion Alex Shelley. The Crown Jewel Championship, Lo Sombra versus Lance Anoa'i. Yes, the same Anoa'i that we're dealing with the bloodline. HOG World Heavyweight Championship, Penta Elzino Miedo versus Mike Santana. Congratulations to him on 1 year of sobriety. That is phenomenal. Good job, Mike. Again, with my post-nasal drip. I'm sorry, people. And then on Friday, April 5th, Wrestling Revolver and the House of Glory will be having a show together on WrestleMania weekend. We're going to have Mustafa Ali versus Amazing Red, Alex Shelley versus HOG champion Mike Santana. The Rascals and the Grizzle Young Veterans will be there. And Steve Macklin versus Charles Mason. And then on Saturday, May 25th, in Boston, will be the debut of, or I think it's the debut. Well, in Boston, it will be their debut. El Helio Vikingo will be there. So they're starting to tour. So like if you get your chance and an opportunity to go see them, because I see them on the Premiere app for only $9.99 a month, and go download that, and it's all over your regular apps. I think it's on iTunes, the Apple Store, the Google Play Store, and it's on the Amazon Fire Stick. So that's where I got mine. And I actually have Google Home on my cable box. So I'm all set to go. I'm all set to go. I got it on my tablet, my phone. I got it everywhere. So I'm good to go. So yeah, this is what's going to be going on in the next couple of months. So you got to keep up to date, and you know what to do. Go on their website and go follow them on social media outlets. And I'm like really popping out here. Sorry. There. This shirt's a little weird today. There. There. It's a little, that's why I was having a little problem. It's not like centered in my cleavage there. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm happy now. So let's get this party started. Please, first and foremost, follow me on social media outlets. Threads, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, and Cameo. If you need something to be told to a loved one, go and check me out. It's $5 to give good news, bad news, and congratulations all around. Please, while you're here, like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the bell for all notifications so when I upload a video or go live, you will know about it. All right, let's get to AEW's Rampage from last week. We started off with the AEW International Champion, Orange Cassidy, with Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta in a trios match versus the ROH World Tag Team Champions Matt Taven and Mike Bennett with Roderick Strong on the team. Best friends charged at Undisputed Kingdom as Undisputed Kingdom made their entrance. They were furious over the Undisputed Kingdom for injuring Chuck Taylor. Bennett booted Trent in the face. Trent jumped on Bennett, squashing him with a double knees to the sternum. Taven tagged in and Rocky and Trent rocked Taven with stereo knee strikes. Trent followed up with a sliding knee for a near fall. Roderick grabbed a blind tag, but Trent tossed Roddy with a German suplex. Roddy pulled Trent off the turnbuckles and nailed Trent with a backbreaker. Taven and Bennett double-teamed Trent in the corner. Great tag team continuity by Taven and Bennett, said Excalibur. Orange tagged in and cleaned house on Taven and Bennett. Orange planted Taven with a DDT and smashed Bennett with a Stundog Millionaire. Bennett blindside Orange with a spinebuster. Cassidy connected with a thrust kick on Taven. Orange was looking for an orange punch, but Taven knocked Orange block off with a kick of his own. Roderick Strong distracted the referee while Bennett blasted Orange with a low blow. Taven jumped off the top turnbuckle while Bennett held Orange, and they pulled Orange with a stuffed pile driver. Rocky was the legal man now. He took flight and rocketing out of the ring and wiping out Bennett and Taven with a tope suicida. Rocky rocked Bennett with a sliced bread. Taven cut off Rocky's flurry with a boot to the midsection. Romeo took Taven down to the mat with a Hurricane Rana. Rocky smashed Taven with Taven and Bennett with a forever clotheslines. Roddy came in with a blindside knee and decimated Rocky with the end of Heartache. Taven covered Rocky and scored the pin. The Undisputed Era set up chairs in the ring, and Roddy planted Rocky right onto the chairs at the end with the end of Heartache. Trent and Orange chased the Undisputed Kingdom out of the ring. Adding insult to injury, it was a complete uncalled for by Roderick Strong, said Excalibur. And by the way, if you're wondering, they are coming from the Footprint Center in Phoenix, Arizona, if you wanted to know. Okay. The Young Bucks. Nicholas and Matthew Jackson versus Mondo Rocks and Robbie Litt. I am telling you, this was the waste of my fucking time. But the EVPs have to be EVPs, and it's getting a little obnoxious, so it is what it is. So Matthew seized on the moment on Robbie. Lit. Stopping him in the corner. Matthew bulldozed Robbie with a lariat. Nicholas tagged in, and the Bucks used a backbreaker, neckbreaker combo on Robbie. Mondo got a tag, and Nicholas kicked Mondo with a low blow as Matthew was distracted the referee. The Young Bucks smashed Mondo with an EVP trigger, and Matthew pinned Mondo. I could have fucking told you, and this match was fucking irrelevant. It was you could have legitimately not watched this and know exactly what the fuck was going to happen. This was more of a build for their match at Revolution with Sting and Darby for the tag team titles. That's it. So it is what it was. Anywho, Nicholas gets on the microphone. I'm so tired of the disrespect that each and every one of you fans show us. I heard a heckler in the front row calling us by the wrong names. It's time to show your EVPs a little bit more respect by calling out our God-given names of Nicholas and Matthew Jackson. Jackson is not their last name, so I don't want to hear it. So, Matthew, I apologize. My brother's a bit of a hothead. No shit. Tell us something we don't know. Listen. The reason why we're out here in the first place to say congratulations to the new AEW Tag Team Champions, Darby Allin and Sting. Incredible match. You're putting your blood, sweat, and tears on the line. You'll be a great champion, but there is one caveat. I got an injury report from Doc Sampson, and apparently both Darby and Sting are a little bit banged up coming out of their big win. So we just wanted to say we're thinking about you guys. We're praying for you guys, and we hope you're okay. You caused the fucking injuries, you dumbass motherfuckers. Oh, my Christ. This is getting ridiculous. However, boys, I want to make one thing clear. Our objective is to get our tag team titles back. And you may be looking at us and saying, oh, but you're EVPs and you're going to politic to do it. Whatever it takes to do it. No. We're going to play by the rules. Climb up the rankings and have competitive matches just like we did on Rampage. We will get ranked and we will be number one contenders and we will get our belts. And we will continue to climb those rankings on Wednesday when you see Nicholas and Matthew Jackson, your EVPs in tag team action. We love you guys so much. Let's have a killer show. Tony Khan just informed me on Wednesday night on Dynamite, Nicholas and Matthew will have some top flight competition when they face Dante and Darius Martin, said Excalibur. I think after what they did, they should not be going for the tag team titles. And hear me out. Tony Khan is the owner of the company. They're EVPs. He trumps them, saying, you came out of here unprovoked, and I still am your boss, so that means I'm going to pull rank on you. You will not be competing for the rest of the year for the tag team titles. So there goes your big match at Revolution. So you could do whatever the fuck you want, but you're not getting a title shot until the end of the year. So it ensues them to fucking not get the titles, and we can actually have a better fucking tag team to go against Darby Allin and Sting in Sting's retirement match. And you know what? I would love to see it. I don't know about you. I would like to see maybe, just maybe it should be the Hardys, unless Jeff is still concussed or whatever he is right at this point. Caution. I'm going to fuck up these names because I don't usually use them, and they're from CML. Mystico with Affinge and Star Jr. versus Matt Sydal. Sydal and Mystico chain wrestled to start the match, exchanging a flurry of offense and going move for move with one another. Mystico hit Sydal with a tope suicida. Sydal jumped back in the ring and caught off Mystico's momentum with a kick. Matt Sydal placed Mystico in a bow and arrow submission. Sydal followed up with a senton splash. Mystico caught Sydal off guard with a crossbody press. This has been a back and forth battle, said Excalibur. Sydal caught Mystico in the face with a jumping knee strike. Sydal landed a air raid crash for a near fall on Mystico. Mystico tried for a moonsault press, but Sydal got his boots up, countering it. Sydal charged Mystico, but Mystico walloped Sydal with a power slam. Mystico hit a Spanish fly on Sydal off the top rope and pinned Sydal. That was desperation move by Mystico, but man, it worked, said Tony Schiavone. Which AEW is lacking right now. Renee Paquette was backstage with Prince Nana and the Machine, Brian Cage. Brian Cage, Hook. He thinks he can hit me in the back with a chair and get away with it like a hit and run. Not today. I'm looking for Hook. Where is he? Coincidentally, he's not here. Of course he is not here. They don't want to feel the rage of Cage on Rampage. He was a poet and he didn't even know it. Ha ha. Prince Nana. You know what? I think Hook is at home reading a book because that's what he needs to do instead of running around town hitting people with chairs in the back. Prince Nana knows how it feels. It happened to me on Wednesday, Renee. Cage. Big deal. Hook, you beat two guys the other night. I could beat two guys any day of the week. I could do that tomorrow, as a matter of fact. Let's do that on Collision. Any two sloppy joes in the locker room that want to face me, come on and come down. Before I completely forgot, Rocky Romero is now in the AEW front office, and QT Marshall, it will be back at AEW, but behind the scenes, I think I gather that he didn't get a position at WWE, so he's going back to AEW. That's just my surmise. Iced coffee always does it. It's good for my voice. I know it's the oddest thing. Main event time. Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale, the Long Island Killer Connections. Yes, they're from my neck of the woods, okay? Versus the Outcasts, Ruby Soho and Saraya with Harley Cameron in their corner. As Ruby was making her entrance on the ramp, she noticed there was a note scribbled on a piece of paper that was inside the pocket of her leather jacket. Stokely Hathaway joined the broadcast booth for this match. Chris took down Saraya with a side headlock. Statlander hit a drop kick. Willow and Ruby came for their respective teams, and Willow rocked Ruby with a Russian leg sweep. Willow followed up with a fisherman suplex. Statlander shoulder tackle. Ruby slammed her and followed up with a sliding lariat. Willow splashed Ruby in the corner. Willow climbed to the top turnbuckle. Harley grabbed Willow's ankle, and then Saraya shoved Ruby to the mat. Statlander tagged in and took Ruby off her feet with a power slam. Ruby and Saraya double teamed Statlander. Willow charged in to make the save, but Saraya grabbed her and shoved her through the ropes. Saraya cracked Chris with a running knee strike and went for the cover, but Willow broke it up just in time. Statlander clubbed Saraya with a discus lariat. Ruby rocked Statlander with a no fury kick. Ruby held Willow, and Saraya went to strike Willow, but Willow escaped, forcing Saraya to inadvertently strike Ruby. Willow walloped Saraya with Ruby with a double clothesline. Saraya and Chris traded forearms in the center of the ring. Statlander blasted Saraya with a massive roundhouse kick. Statlander planted Saraya with a blue thunder bomb for a near fall. Saraya caught Chris off guard with a jawbreaker. Saraya went for a tag, but Ruby refused, turning her back and jumping off the apron, leaving Saraya in the lurch. Tony, I wonder if that note Ruby was reading that had anything to do with this. Harley grabbed Ruby and tried to stop Ruby from walking away. Ruby turned around and decked Harley. Ruby, finally standing up for herself to Saraya, said, Excalibur. Willow power bombed a shocked Soraya and pinned her. After the match, Stokely celebrated with both Chris and Willow. Blue Sky appeared in the aisle, smirked, and waved at Chris and Willow. The arena lights went dark. What's going on? Wondered Excalibur. The lights came back on, and the TBS champion, Julia Hart, was standing beside Sky Blue, and they were staring at Willow and Chris, taunting them as Julia held up her title. We are going to go right into Collision, and Collision had a lineup of AEW International Champion Orange Cassidy versus Tomohiro Ishii, the virtuosa Dion Perazzo versus Kira Hogan. We'll hear from the Rated R superstar Adam Copeland. AEW World's Women's Champion Timeless Toni Storm versus Queen Amada. BCC John Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli versus CML's Essa Fridge and Star Jr. and much, much more. So we're going to go to Collision, and then we're going to do Dynamite, and then we're going to get the hell we're going to go right over to WWE, and then we're going to get out of here. And I want to enjoy the rest of my Friday because I think I can enjoy it. I think I deserve it after a week I've had of crazy week. Holy Christmas. As I'm waiting for my notes to pop up here. I'm going to blow my nose. Sorry, people. I have bad post-nasal drip. Blackpool Combat Club. Claudio Castagnoli and John Moxley versus, and I'm going to apologize in advance because I'm going to fuck up their names, and I apologize. Versus CMLLS, Essa Fringe, and Star Jr. At least the second one is easy. This first one is a pain in the fucking ass. Let's get through this. Moxley took down Star with a side headlock. Moxley grabbed Star's hair. Star escaped and put Mox in a submission until Claudio came in and broke up the hold with a boot to Star. Moxley swung at Star, but Star ducked and smacked Moxley in the mush. Star and Essa Fringe were about to go for stereo topes, but BCC walked away. Essa Fringe and Star pumped the brakes. Claudio tagged in and hurled Essa Fringe with a giant swing. Moxley grabbed a tag, but so did Star Jr. Star shoved Claudio into Moxley. Star jumped off the top rope and took down both Moxley and Claudio. Essa Fringe and Star jumped out of the ring with a tope and a tope con hero, both members of the Blackpool Combat Club. Star tried to springboard, but Claudio countered with a European uppercut. Moxley whipped Essa Fringe into the steel guardrail. Essa Fringe clocked Claudio with a thrust kick and then hit a monkey flip on Moxley. Essa Fringe tried to apply the Indian Deathlock pinning combo on Moxley, but Claudio jumped in to break up the pin. Star wiped out Moxley with a running lariat and then followed up with a torn hero on Claudio. Moxley nearly decapitated Essa Fringe with a King Kong lariat for a near fall. Moxley ate a kick and then risking a knee strike from Moxley. Claudio gorilla press slammed Star right into a cutter from Moxley. Claudio smashed Essa Fringe with a Ricola bomb. Moxley put Star in an arm submission to force him to tap out. Moxley, gracias amigos. You take that message back to CML in Mexico or anywhere else in the world, and you tell any team if they want to step up, they get stepped on. FTR, Dax Hardwood, and Cash Wheeler, I want to give you an update. They are going forth with the weapons charge for Cash Wheeler. So I just wanted to let you know he may be serving some severe jail time. And this is going to completely change this whole situation. And I'm hoping that it's just going to be probation or maybe house arrest, depending, because I think this is his first offense. So hopefully that that it'll work out in the end. But I'm just keeping you the abreast of the situation. So they came down to the ring. FTR had a stare down with BCC. It quickly escalated, and the two teams traded fists. It didn't take long for fist cuffs to fly here, said Tony Schiavone. The locker room emptied, and the wrestlers and the security guards tried to separate the BCC and the FTR, and to contain them. Daniel Garcia versus Shane Taylor. Matt Menard accompanied Garcia and then joined the broadcast booth. Taylor was throwing some haymakers, but Garcia dodged them. Taylor knocked down Garcia with a shoulder block. Garcia came back with a dragon screw leg whip on Taylor. Shane Taylor shoved Garcia out of the ring with his leg. Taylor rammed Garcia into the ring apron and then whipped Garcia into the front guardrail. Garcia was out of the way of Taylor's leg drop. Garcia dropped Taylor in the legs and stomped him in the corner. Taylor retaliated with a pop-up powerbomb and a nasty right hand for a near fall. Garcia escaped a package pile driver, and Taylor's leg gave out. Garcia locked in an E-bar, and Taylor tapped out. 5 in a row on Collision for Daniel Garcia, said Tony Schiavone. So he's coming up the ranks really, really nicely. Lexi Nair interviewed the Continental Champion Eddie Kingston backstage. Kingston, first off, Young Bucks, what you did on Dynamite was disgusting. You stole Sting and Darby's thunder, just like you, Bryan Danielson. When you stole the thunder from Brian Keith, what kind finally got a contract? You took that moment away to get underneath his skin. Well, you did it. And now I'm going to challenge you to a match at Revolution. Me and you, one-on-one, I'm going to add a little stipulation at the end of the match. After I beat you, you're going to have to shake my hand because I know you don't respect me. So now after I beat you again, you have to shake my hand, act like you respect me. And I don't know, and I know, and I pray that legit eats you up inside. The Machine, Brian Cage versus the Outrunners, Tober Floyd and Truth Magnum. Chance, the mascot of Vegas Golden Knights, was at ringside cheering for the Outrunners. Brian Cage hit a German suplex on Truth. He double suplexed the Outrunners. Cage stepped on the head of Turbo, and Turbo submitted. Chance did the swerve dance and Prince Nana after the match. Brian Cage clubbed Chance from behind. FTW Hook, Champion Hook came, music began to play. Hook and Cage brawled on the ramp. The fight continued all the way in the back. We go back to Lexi Nair was backstage with the Undisputed Kingdom and Tomohiro Ishii. Tavin, I have a bone to pick with this goofy Melvin right here. I used to be in Chaos, and then one day I got a knee injury, and no emails, no texts, no nothing from you, Ishii. Roderick, Ishii, none of that matters. The only thing that matters is if you win tonight. March 3rd at Revolution, I'm coming to beat you for the AEW International title. And I've been waiting 8 long years for this match. And I cannot wait to break you. So good luck. We go to Tony Schiavone in the ring at an interview with the Rated R superstar Adam Copeland. Schiavone, 4-0 in the Cope Open. I want to tell you, as far as top contenders are concerned, as we know at Revolution, Samoa Joe has two top contenders to deal with in that 3-way match. You're number 3, which means you have your pick. We have the International Championship. We have the TNT Championship. What's going through your mind of the Rated R superstar right now? Copeland, first of all, if I had been at Dynamite, that would wouldn't have happened to Sting and Darby. So, Nicholas, Matthew, that's a warning. Now you've talked about other championships that I can challenge for. There's Christian Cage. There's the TNT Championship that I won and had ripped out of my hands. So I think you know where I'm leaning. Daniel Garcia music began to play, and Garcia came down to the ring. Garcia, Adam, it sounds like you and to me, like you think you deserve a shot at the TNT title because you've been getting lots of wins. And I couldn't agree with you more. I believe that championship opportunity should be rewarded through wins, but you're not the only person that's been picking up a lot of wins. Somebody else right in front of you has been on a hot streak. And I don't mean any disrespect last week when I beat the Patriarch. I looked at Christian Cage and saw that championship, and I thought just maybe I deserve a shot at the TNT title. The thing about me is I'll fight through that line millions of times over if it means I get a hold of championship gold in AEW. Copeland, okay, I can respect that. And if you didn't beat the Patriarch by yourself, FTR helped you. But if the FTR boys speak highly of you, that's enough for me. I respect you. But Daniel, if you're saying that you want a shot at the TNT Championship, I want a shot at the TNT Championship. I've got a proposal. Wednesday, Dynamite. You and I fight to see the last man standing fights. Christian, the last man standing fights Christian. What do you say? Garcia, he accepts. Copeland, now I know you had a match. You had a match tonight. And that's the only reason why I'm not taking your face off right now. But make no mistake about it, you're not threatening to take food off my table. That does not work for me. I'm going to beat your ass next week. Renee Paquette was backstage with Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, and Stokely Hathaway. Renee said she thought that the addition of Stokely was working out for them, especially their win last night against the Outcasts. Stokely, I had words for Sky Blue and Julia Hart and said there were only two badasses that he knows in the AEW women's division. And that's the former TBS champion Chris Statlander and the first ever New Japan Strong Women's champion Willow Nightingale. Do I care? No. Willow said that she thought Sky would have been right there with them, but Sky chose a different path. Willow said that she and Sky had done a lot together, but they still haven't fought one another. Mark Briscoe versus the House of Black, Brody King. Mark chopped away at Brody, but Brody hoisted up Mark and threw himself halfway across the ring. Brody blasted Briscoe with a cannonball in the corner, followed up by a running senton for a near fall. Brody battered Mark in the corner with his stiff chops and then a boot. Briscoe pulled Brody out of the ring. Mark jumped off the apron and nailed Brody with a neck breaker. Mark used his steel chair and launched himself off to land on Brody with a tope con hero. Mark tried to pull a table from beneath the ring, but the ref stopped him, admonishing Mark. Mark went for a plancha, but Brody caught him and slammed him onto the steel chair. Back in the ring, Brody planted Briscoe with a bossman slam for a 2 count. Briscoe kicked Brody in the head, knocking Brody to the floor. Mark climbed to the top turnbuckle and connected with a twisting moonsault, landing to his feet. Brody blocked a Death Valley driver and then leveled Brody with a lariat. Mark climbed on the top, but Julia Hart jumped on the apron to distance Briscoe and distract Briscoe. Brody shoved Briscoe and sent Briscoe flying, crashing onto the table on the arena floor. Brody drilled Briscoe with a gonzo bomb and pinned Briscoe. Brody held Mark back while Julia Hart hit Briscoe with a spike on the forehead. Mark was busted wide open. I gotta blow my nose. Hold on. The bounty hunter, Brian Keith, was backstage with some strong words. Keith, there is no secret I'm all about my payday. So when I came to AEW, I was looking to climb the ranks and collect my bounty. Whether you're good, bad, or ugly, you stand across the ring from me. You better be ready to pay up, sucker. The Virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo versus Kiera Hogan. This is a fucking match from TNA. Jesus Christ. I am so scared for Mercedes. Seriously. Deonna Purrazzo yanked at Hogan's arm. Kiera fought back with a hip attack. Deonna dodged a charging Kiera. Deonna went back to working on Kiera's arm. Deonna drilled Hogan with a backstabber for a near fall. Hogan caught Deonna with a thrust kick. Deonna blocked a pile driver attempt. Deonna applied the Venus de Milo, and Hogan had to submit verbally. Like that, it was over. AEW Women's Champion Timeless Toni Storm with Mariah May and Luther the Butler versus Queen Amata. Toni had a headlock on Amata. The Queen fought out of it and taunted Toni. Toni Storm took down Queen Amata with a Lou Thesz press. Toni Storm applied a full Nelson. Toni Storm kicked Queen Amata right in the face. Toni charged at Queen Amata, but Amata cradled Toni for a near fall. Queen Amata walloped Toni with a snap suplex. Toni spiked Amata with a DDT, but the challenger kicked out at the count of 2. Queen Amata retaliated with an air raid crash for a near fall on the champ. Timeless Toni cracked Queen Amata with a hip attack and crunched Amata with a pile driver for a pin victory. Toni Storm, Mr. Schiavone, I want to know what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but we're in the Hendersons, so stop looking at me like that. Darling, did you see that? Another fantastic technical show of brilliance. This week on Dynamite, I will be releasing a brand new film. In the main event, AEW International Championship match. Freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy versus the Stone Pitbull Tomohiro Ishii. You know, I'm going to give myself a lot of credit. It took me a long time to pronounce Japanese names, but I think I did a fucking grand old job, you know. Seriously. Ishii knocked Orange to the floor with a shoulder tackle. Ishii waffled Orange with a chop to the chest. Orange Cassidy was freshly squeezed, said Nigel. Orange came back with a stun dog millionaire and then a twisting DDT. Orange flew out of the ring with a tope suicida on Ishii. Orange spiked Ishii with another DDT for a 2 count. Orange jumped off the top rope and planted Ishii with a diving DDT. Orange stomped Ishii in the corner. Orange connected with a shotgun dropkick, but Ishii propped back up and pounced on Orange. The fans chanted, "This is awesome. This is awesome." Ishii blasted Cassidy with an avalanche brainbuster and covered Orange for a near fall. Orange fired back with a collapse to the mat. Orange got up and went for a beach break, but Ishii reversed it and countered with a power bomb. Ishii went for a sliding lariat, but Orange dodged it and cradled Ishii for a near fall. Ishii headbutt Orange, but Orange caught Ishii with an orange punch. Orange drilled Ishii with a beach break, but Ishii lifted his shoulders in the nick of time. Ishii nailed Orange with a dragon suplex. Ishii hit the sliding lariat, but Orange kicked out. Ishii attempted the vertical brainbuster, but Orange escaped. Orange decked Ishii with an orange punch. Ishii wouldn't go down. Orange tried for another orange punch, but Ishii blocked it. Orange rolled up Ishii in a small package and pinned him. The Undisputed Kingdom surrounded the ring after the match. Taven and Bennett spiked Orange with a stuffed pile driver. Ishii sprinted back to the ring, and the Undisputed Kingdom retreated. Trent came down with a steel chair as reinforcements. So we go to AEW Dynamite, and it's coming from the HEB Center in Cedar Park, Texas. So there wasn't a lineup, so we're going to just go right over to Dynamite. So We're going to start off with Dax Hardwood from FTR versus the Blackpool Combat Club, John Moxley. Moxley flipped Dax, trying to get under Hardwood's skin. Moxley put his hands behind his back and invited Dax to hit him. Dax blasted Mox with stiff chops. Moxley hammered the jaw of Hardwood with forearms. Moxley bit the side of Dax's head. Moxley applied the bulldog choke on Dax. Dax countered with a roll-up, but Mox kicked out quickly. Moxley kicked Dax with the heel of his boot, kicking upward and Hardwood up at Hardwood. Moxley ripped Dax into the barricade. Moxley catapulted Dax into the Sting ring post. Dax and Mox slugged it out back in the ring after one volley from each man landing flush right on the jaw. They both fell to the mat. The fight moved to the top turnbuckle and Dax suplexed Moxley. A car crash in the center of the ring set Excalibur. Tough landing on both of them. Mox got the worst of it, replied Taz. Moxley changed the levels, kicking Hardwood in the leg, striking him in the head. Hardwood dodged an arm bar attempt and countered with a sharpshooter on Moxley. Justin Roberts announced that 5 minutes have remained in the match. Moxley escaped with a back body drop. Dax fired back with spiking Mox with a pile driver for a near fall. Vance chanted, "This is awesome. This is awesome." Moxley rocked Dax with a cutter and a curb stomp him. Thank you, Rollins. Somewhere when he was doing that, it was like, here you go, bro. Moxley nailed Dax with a pile driver, but Dax kicked out at 2 count. Dax countered a paradigm shift and a brainbuster for a near fall. Justin Roberts announced there were 2 minutes remaining. Dax jumped off the top turnbuckle, but Max countered with a near rear naked choke, and Dax tapped out. Moxley wouldn't release the hold. Cash Wheeler sprinted down, jumped in the ring, and began to pummel Mox. Claudio Castagnoli jumped into the ring and leveled Cash. Moxley put Dax in another sleeper, while Claudio wrenched the back on Cash Wheeler. Renee Paquette was backstage with the Don Callis, Takesha, and Powerhouse Hobbs. Callis said that they're the victim of their own success because no one wants to wrestle Takesha or Hobbs. And Revolution pay-per-view coming up, Callis said he looked within the family to put together a match. The Alpha Takesha versus Will Ospreay. He will be officially in AEW by then. The best part about the Don Callis family, they always win. And after the Revolution, you'll be talking about the Don Callis family and the match of the decade. I remember somebody says they always win. It's not the House of Black. It's the game, Triple H. I'm sorry. Fuck you, Triple H is one fucking sexy beast. I'm sorry. Paul Levesque is he can pedigree me 7 days a week, Sunday through Saturday, at least 10 times a day. I am not joking. The Undisputed Kingdom, Wardlow versus Barrett Brown. Adam Cole was joining the commentary team. Wardlow hoisted up Brown into the turnbuckle and dropped Brown right into Wardlow's own knee, while Wardlow began posing and flexing, admiring himself on the big screen. Wardlow powerbombed Brown and then pinned him, and that was the end of it. Footage aired earlier in the day. EVP Young Bucks landing in the private jet, still wearing the suits that were stained with blood of Sting and Darby Allin. The rated R superstar Adam Copeland versus Daniel Garcia. Copeland missed a splash, and Garcia rolled up Copeland for a near fall. Garcia brought Copeland down with a drop toe hold. Garcia danced and stomped on both Copeland's knees. Garcia hammered Copeland's head with scissor elbows. Garcia jumped off the turnbuckles, but Copeland caught him and countered with a shoulder breaker. Copeland baited Garcia into the corner and then wrenched on the Garcia's arms over the top rope. Garcia swept out Copeland's legs. Garcia yanked Copeland down with a dragon screw leg whip. Garcia rocked Copeland into the corner and stomped him down. Garcia connected with a running boot. Garcia worked on Copeland's leg with another dragon screw. Garcia applied the STF on Copeland in the middle of the ring. Copeland countered into a front headlock. Copeland met Garcia in the top turnbuckle and rocked Garcia with an avalanche impaler. Copeland went for a spear, but Garcia kicked Copeland in the head. Garcia jackknifed Copeland for a near fall. Copeland escaped and hung onto Garcia, putting Garcia in a cross-face submission. The Patriarch, Nick Wayne, and Killswitch jumped into the ring and began to beat down Copeland and Garcia. The match was thrown out. TNT champion Christian Cage and Shayna Wayne walked down to the ring. Christian ordered that because he doesn't want to face either of these men, said Tony Schiavone. Christian Cage pulled a chair from beneath the ring, but Matt Menard saw enough and got up and threatened to whack Christian with his own chair. Killswitch ambushed Matt Menard from behind. Extinction from Killswitch. Daddy Magic never saw it coming, said Excalibur. Killswitch chokeslammed Daniel Garcia in the ring. Nick Wayne and Killswitch set Garcia onto the chair, positioning him for a concerto. Adam Cole jumped into the ring with a chair of his own and cleared the house on the Patriarch. Christian Cage and Adam Copeland swung at the chairs at one another, but Christian dropped his chair upon impact. Christian Cage was down in the corner, begging off Adam Copeland, and then Shayna Baszler snuck up from behind and hit Copeland with a low blow. This is sounding so much like the Judgment Day. So Adam Copeland leaves WWE to do this, to basically be in the same situation that he was in WWE. Make it make sense. I'm sorry. It just doesn't make fucking sense. But it is what it is, right? Because he's in AEW now, right? Meanwhile, he fucking said verbatim he had nobody else over there. Honestly, yeah, he did. Couldn't go against Bobby Lashley. Couldn't go against Karrion Kross. Couldn't go against Cody Rhodes. Couldn't go against, possibly another Roman Reigns. Let's see, he could have done business in NXT. Why wasn't he thinking of that? Because he fucking didn't want to be there anymore. Just say that. You didn't want to be there anymore. You wanted to go so you could have that cushy schedule and whatnot. And you should have came back. And you know what? That's disrespectful because they're the ones that fucking cleared you. They gave you the fucking tools to get cleared and you didn't, and you fucking disrespected them. But that's okay. Like, nobody's pointing that out. Nick Wayne rocked Copeland with Wayne's World. Killswitch hit Copeland in the back of the neck with the extension. Christian Cage blasted Copeland with a concerto. And that was just disgusting, said Taz. AEW World Champion Samoa Joe came to the ring ahead of his three-way battle. And it better be a three-way dance, because that, I think, would be your best bet, you know? And Hangman, Adam Page, and Swerve joined him. Samoa Joe, my name is Samoa Joe. I stand here proudly, your AEW World Champion. But tonight, I come here with a spirit of apology. When I became champion, I reenacted the ranking system to ensure the only way the best victims were served up in front of me to destroy. Everything was going so well last week when Hangman, Adam Page, and Swerve Strickland batted tooth and nail for a 30-minute draw. The AEW Championship Committee took a page out of the Texas playbook and made my match bigger and dumber. We reward mediocrity around here. Truth Bomb City. Instead of telling these pretenders they don't belong in the ring with me at Revolution, I find myself in a three-way match. Obviously, a crime has been committed against me, and now there must be repercussions. You send your two bright stars in the ring with me. I guarantee I'm hurting one of them, not if not both of them. They may walk in, but I guarantee you they will both limp out because I am Samoa Joe. I stand here, the AEW World Champion, and there's nothing anybody could do about it. Strickland comes out. Strickland walked to the ring with Prince Nana. Swerve, Joe. When we started this whole thing, like I said, it wasn't supposed to be personal. But as we get closer to Revolution and you run your mouth, I can't help feel it become personal. When you became champion, you said the new champion protocol. You show up with your reputation, you show up with your resume. You also said hunger defines the great. Well, if you look at me, I'm on my way becoming one of the greatest of all time. No one out hustles me, no one outworks me, and no one outgrinds me. So check my resume. 15 years I've been grinding. So maybe one day someone will say, Swerve, you will go down as one of the greatest. And this year I proved that. Today is the day I go toe to toe with a former world champion and some of the best legends in that AEW has to offer. And the same result every time I'm one left standing. At Revolution, nothing changes except for one difference, is that I will be holding that championship above my head. Hangman Adam Page walked to the ring. So it was his turn to, take the reins. Page, hold on. First, I want to set the record straight about last week's match. I wasn't mad. When you're writing your Dynamite reports, don't say I was mad. Last week was horseshit because I signed a contract for a match to determine the number one contender for the world championship. And the winner of that match became the number one contender. And he couldn't do it. Swerve had 30 minutes and he couldn't do it. That's accurate. So if it were up to me, Joe at Revolution, the match would be two men who value and respect the championship for everything that it stands for. But unfortunately, I don't make the matches, and it looks like Swerve, you have been added to this match. Swerve, I'm going to need to look at you in the eyes and hear this. After everything you have done to me, you don't deserve 1 second of my time. You don't deserve for me to give you 5 more minutes because you couldn't get the job done. And you Swerve, you don't deserve to be this champion in this championship match. Samoa ended things at this thing. This walking domestic dispute ends tonight. As far as you both concerned, I'm Samoa Joe, and come Revolution, I'm whipping both of your asses. Up next, AEW World Champion Timeless Toni Storm had a world premiere of her newest film, Wet Ink. What do you do when you can't change the past? You kill it, said Storm, as she dagger tattoo through a bird that she once shared with the virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo. Renee Paquette was backstage to get Deonna Purrazzo's reaction. Deonna, Renee, Toni Storm talks too much, so I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Toni, I'm going to break your arm. AEW EVP Nicholas and Matthew Jackson pulled up to the arena in a stretch limo. So we go to the match between them and Top Flight Darius and Dante Martin. Dante used an arm drag on Nicholas. Matthew tagged in and gave a condescending fist bump to Dante. Dante and Darius battered Matthew back and forth with strikes. Top Flight tried for a sliding dropkick, but the Bucks dodged them. Back in the ring, Top Flight concentrated on the arms of Matt Jackson. Matt shut down Darius and Dante, and Nick got involved with a cheap shot. Darius and Matt kicked Matt in the back of the head with a guillotine-like kick. Dante tagged in and connected with a big springboard crossbody on Matt for a near fall. Top Flight hit stereo sunset flips on the Bucks for a near fall. Matt caught Dante with a DDT. Top Flight got back in control, and Darius launched off Dante and spiked Matt with a DDT. Nick broke up the pin attempt, but Dante drove him hard into the barricade with a tope. Darius nailed Matt with a Spanish fly for a near fall. Nick interfered to help Matt, and Matt put his foot in the ropes for leverage and while trying to pin Darius. The ref saw Matt cheating and stopped him. As the ref was admonishing Nick, and Nick was using the opportunity to distract the ref, Matt kicked Darius between the legs. The Bucks smashed Darius with the EVP trigger and pinned him. Tony Schiavone interviewed the Bucks after the match. Matt, they were undefeated this year, which makes them the top unbeatable team in AEW, in his opinion. Beating the team like that, I think it's safe to say we're number one contenders. Matt said Tony Schiavone was under breach of contract by publicly disparaging the AEW EVPs. That's unprofessional. That's a Bush League, Tony, and said Matthew. That's $1,000 fine. Do you have a problem with that? You heard me, said Nick, and he shoved Tony, knocking him into the mat. He put his hands on a commentary person. So guess what this happens? Tony Khan comes out. He doesn't pay the fine. You're paying the fine. He didn't put his hands on you. You both now are paying $1,000. And if you want to up this, we'll get it up to not $10,000, not $50,000, $100,000 from the both of you. Hit him where it hurts, Tony. Hit him where it hurts. Matthew apologizes, saying his brother was a bit of a hothead. They offered to help Tony up, but they're really putting him in the position for the EVP trigger. Darby Allin sprinted to the ring with a Sting's baseball bat, and the Bucks retreated. Darby. He fucking had... CM Punk would be so proud of him. CM Punk was probably listening and says, that's my boy. Young Bucks reminded everyone that the original mission statement in AEW was to change the world. When I was homeless and AEW first started, I begged for a job, yet you saw nothing in me. I had to sit by and watch all you shit friends get hired. And thank God, at the time where there was an EVP, there was a sense of range. And I'm not talking about Kenny Omega. The main events of fucking WrestleMania 40. Thank you very much. And it's not Roman Reigns. So let's get that settled here, pals. You did a little interview last year why you resigned with AEW. You said you resigned because the travel schedule was light and the money was good. And it was no longer about changing the world. The mission statement was dead. Basically, it was dead. It's dead. They're not changing the world. WWE changed the world by fucking merging with UFC, because I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Sooner or later, you are going to have every fucking weekend that a WWE PLE is going to be that You're going to see a UFC, you're going to immediately say, oh, there's going to be a WWE event. That's how they're going to set this up. So you're going to see that they're going to go hands in hand. That's what they're going to make successful, and that's what's going to make them the alternative. Right now, AEW is not the alternative. WWE is. Right now, who the fuck is talking about AEW and Revolution? Big fucking deal. Big fucking deal. They got 4 fucking claim to fame. They got fucking Sting's goddamn retirement match at Revolution. Then you got the debuts of Will Ospreay, Kazuchika Okada, and Mercedes Moné on Dynamite around that time. Who cares at that point? Because we all know Tony Khan is going to be fucking up Mercedes. And I hope to God she didn't sign a fucking 5-year deal. It better be 1 or 2 years. So if she wants to get the fuck out of there, she can. And she can make her way back to home. I thought this was all elite wrestling, but it looks like all friendship wrestling. Think about the first 2 episodes of Dynamite. Darby Allin wasn't on it. You know who was? Brandon Cutler. What the fuck? And of course, he didn't say it, but we all know what it was. You guys want to be Sting's final match? I don't think you guys understand what you guys got yourself into. You're talking about the man who has got nothing left to lose. It's showtime. The match had been made for Revolution, March 3rd, Sting's last match, when he and Darby Allin put the AEW World Tag Team titles against the line against the Bucks. So they got what they want. I wouldn't have. Logical. They're fucking goddamn fucking everything up. They're fucking pushing their way through. Tony Khan needs to start coming out, or they need to get a fucking authority figure on there and say, no, sweethearts. You're going to go through the fucking gauntlet. You're going to fucking fight. And you think you're EVPs? I am your boss. I am Tony Khan here. I don't care if you're EVPs. You're EVP of dog shit right now. I'm the head dog in charge. I'm your boss. And this is what's going to happen. Renee Paquette was backstage with Big Bang Bang Scissor Game. Jay White, what's the goal for the Bang Bang Scissor Game? We're running smoothly. We have new merch. We still have yet to test our cohesiveness in the ring. Daddy asks, what about Friday? We have a 12-man on Friday. Anthony Bowen says, great idea. Willow Nightingale with Chris Statlander versus Sky Blue with Julia Hart. Blue blasted Willow with a shotgun dropkick. Willow did a cartwheel and scooped up Sky and body slammed her. Willow sent Sky Blue to the outside with a pounce. Sky Blue connected with a thrust kick, but Willow Wild Blue with a lariat. Willow used a hip attack in the corner. Willow nailed Blue with a spine buster for a near fall. Willow avoided a kick from Blue and sent Blue spilling to the floor with a pounce. Willow set up Sky on the turnbuckle. Sky escaped and powerbombed Willow off the top rope for a near fall. Sky rocketed Willow with a code Blue, but Stokely jumped on the apron to distract the referee. Willow clobbered Sky Blue with a Dr. Bomb and scored the pin, thanks to a big assist from Stokely. So that was that. Hey, Alyssa, my sister from another mister. Hey, sweetheart, love you, Alyssa. Main event, Texas Death Match, AEW International Champion Freshly Squeezed Orange versus the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champion Matt Tavern from the Undisputed Kingdom. The only way to win is by knockout or submission. Taven chopped Orange in the corner. Taven knocked down Orange with a beautiful drop kick. Taven planted Orange with a blue thunder bomb. Cassidy whipped Taven into the guardrail. Orange baited Taven in the and booted Taven in the jaw. They began to brawl into the crowd. Taven launched an elbow drop off the stage and landed on Orange, who was on the table. Taven popped up a particular broken table against the stage. Taven suplexed Orange against the table, breaking it in half. Orange's head was busted wide open. Taven obliterated Orange with a running knee strike on the ramp. Taven tossed Orange back in the ring. Taven spiked Orange with a DDT. Orange got to his feet before the 10 count. Taven pulled another table out from beneath the ring, popped up against the broadcast booth. Cassidy jumped out at Taven with a tope. Taven jumped off the turnbuckles and connected with a kick to Orange. Taven smashed into Orange with a drop kick. Taven ran and jumped over the top rope like a missile at Orange Cassidy. But Orange moved and Taven went through, crashing the table. What the hell did we just see? Said Shivani. The fans chanted, "This is awesome. This is awesome." Orange pulled a heart-shaped box of chocolate out from underneath the ring. It had a tag, and it read 2OC from Chuck E. T XOXO. Orange opened the box and it was filled with thumbtacks. Orange poured the thumbtacks onto the canvas. Then Taven shoved Orange from the turnbuckles right on top of the thumbtacks. Taven attempted to land a frog splash onto Orange, but Orange rolled out of the way, and Taven landed right on top of the thumbtacks. Orange DDT Taven into the thumbtacks. Orange pulled a steel chair from beneath the ring. Mike Bennett ran down to the ring, smashed another heart-shaped box over across the head of Cassidy. Bennett filled the ring with steel chairs. Trent walked down the ramp with a steel pipe. Trent swung the pipe at Bennett's head and bashed it into the steel chair, colliding into Bennett's head. Taven hurled a steel chair at Trent's head. Taven planted Trent face first into the steel chair. Orange was there, through and drilled Taven with a orange punch. Orange planted Taven with a beach break on the top of the chair, on top of the tacks. There was blood everywhere. My God, said Shivani. Taven ripped at the pockets of Orange jeans. Orange wrapped the chain around his fist and smashed Taven with the orange punch. Roderick Strong ran to the ring and rocked Trent with a jumping knee strike. Trent had jumped in the way to protect Orange. Trent took the bullet for Orange, said Excalibur. Orange chucked Roddy out of the ring. Taven couldn't get to his feet before the ref counted to 10. Orange won via knockout. Orange is lucky to have friends like Trent, said Excalibur. Yes, he is. Trent took the bullet for Orange. What a Texas death match that was. And that was nuts, replied Taz. That was one of the craziest we have ever seen, added Tony. Special programming note: this Friday, tune into AEW Rampage at a special time at 6 Central on TNT. Queen Amata versus Anna Jay. No DQ match. Jeff Hardy versus Sammy Guevara. Next Wednesday, it will be coming from the BOK Center in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So at 7 o'clock, you can start watching wrestling, go right through SmackDown, and everybody's a fucking happy camper. Can't stand the Rock. Why back and to take the spot to serve? Yeah, I think Bayley should be main eventing. That's just my my thing. Because Bayley has never gotten her flowers. Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley have gotten their flowers. And I think Bayley needs to be in that spot. That's just me. I hate to disagree with you. I think Bailey needs to, get that flowers and get that moment at WrestleMania. She has been basically the lost person. Mercedes has gotten her flowers. Becky and Charlotte, they've all gotten their flowers. I think it's time. And then, I mean, for Christ's sake, she's done everything in WWE. Now, she's had Money in the Bank. She's won the Royal Rumble. She's had the tag team titles. She's had the women's titles. It's about time that she gets that WrestleMania moment, because when she was facing, I think it was Charlotte, and I think it was Sasha at the time, when the Divas title was turning to the women's title, she kind of was like left to the wayside, and people kind of forget about that. And I think Bailey needs to be the one to be in that spot. So sorry to disagree with you, sweetheart, but that's the way I feel it in my gut. We come to the midway. We come to the midway point, and we are going to let you know that please like, share, subscribe, turn on the bell for all notifications, so when I go live or I upload a video, you will all know about it. Please go and follow me on my social media. We have Threads, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, and Cameo, all Mel's Mat Chat. Please note, next week I'm going live either Wednesday right after Dynamite or Thursday morning at some point for episode 328. I think, 328 or 329. I'm going to go live. Then right after SmackDown at 10:15, preview and predictions for the Elimination Chamber. And remember, it's 5 a.m. for the people in New York. If you're living in California, you're going to have to either stay up or go to bed at like 7 o'clock and wake up at 1:30. And I applaud you for that. I got to get up anyway because I got to go see my son. Can't stand why he does WrestleMania pitches. Oh, the Rock should have just never even got involved in this. This is how I think what should have happened. Right after he lost the title, Roman Reigns comes out and says it was a travesty and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden we hear the Rock's music. He comes out, he verbally assaults fucking Roman Reigns, said, you can't even keep the title. So I'm going to question your tribal chief status. I'm the true tribal chief. I am the head of the table. If I still haven't given up my spot here, I will always be in WWE. You want to take my place? Let's do this. WrestleMania 41, and that's where they drop where it's supposed to go. We are going to go, and we're going to fight night one for the head of the table, and we're going to see who's really in charge of the Samoan bloodline. You got all fucking year to build. He had no reasons to go into WrestleMania this year. It makes fucking no sense. But of course, The Rock is Vince McMahon 2.0. Because he's got an ego bigger than fucking Vince McMahon's grapefruits. All right, SmackDown. SmackDown from last week had the lineup of the Undisputed Tag Team Champions #1 contenders match. DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa versus the Bruiserweight, Pete Dunne and the Big Strong Boy, Tyler Bate. SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis to select the United States Champion Logan Paul's next opponent for the Elimination Chamber match. Women's Elimination Chamber qualifier match. The EST of the WWE, Bianca Belair versus Michin. The fallout from WrestleMania kickoff press conference. So they started up with the recap of the whole situation. So Triple H makes his way down to the ring to begin Friday Night SmackDown with the general managers from Raw and SmackDown, Nick Aldis and Adam Pierce. And now he is officially now known as Paul Triple H Levesque. Triple H welcomes the fans to Friday Night SmackDown and says the WrestleMania 40 kickoff show was a grand way to kick off WrestleMania season despite things going off. Triple H also, he came out to clear a couple of things up. Triple H says he felt like there was some confusion in the air from Las Vegas and said some people don't know their role. Triple H also says people went out and tried to insert their authority when they have none, and he doesn't care where someone sits because the answer comes from him. Triple H confirms that the Roman Reigns will defend his undisputed WWE Universal Championship against Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. The game also says certain people in the back will be disappointed by their decisions, but it doesn't matter if they don't like that decision. Triple H then welcomes the fans to the road to WrestleMania. All this then addresses Seth freaking Rollins, World Championship match opponent, which I think Adam Pearce should have done it, but that's just neither here nor there. Aldis says the winner of the men's elimination chamber match at the upcoming elimination chamber in Perth will face Rollins before Pearce announces that Randy Orton, Bronson Reed, Kevin Owens, Logan Paul, AJ Styles, The Miz, Bobby Lashley, Ivar, Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, Dominic Mysterio, and LA Knight will face each other in a series of 6 qualifying matches to determine who competes in the chamber. Pearce then says that McIntyre will face Styles up next. And McIntyre makes his way down to the ring with a microphone in hand. I swear, I love the interaction with Drew McIntyre and Triple H. It's just like those two need to team up. It gives me almost corporation vibes, you know? Like the Authority. I loved that faction, the Authority, with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. It was fucking fire. McIntyre begins thanking everyone and feeling the same way about CM Punk as he does. McIntyre then says Punk won't get any profits from this t-shirt, and he has been wearing featuring Punk's WrestleMania dreams. McIntyre then took the credit for Cody Rhodes choosing Roman Reigns and saying, "You're welcome" to the crowd. McIntyre says he's going to save the world title by winning the Elimination Chamber, and he would give WWE a champion who the best for business. I love that innuendo. Styles then comes out to the ring, so we have this match. Sami Zayn and Randy Orton were shown arriving to the arena earlier in the day. They will face each other in the second men's Elimination Chamber qualifying match later in the evening. So we have AJ versus Drew McIntyre. LA Knight comes out and he goes on commentary. The match officially begins with McIntyre starts off by sending Styles into the corner. McIntyre then nails Styles with a chop, but Styles answers back with a kick on McIntyre's thigh and a couple of chops of his own. Styles then hits a crossbody from the corner on McIntyre. McIntyre catches him and puts Styles down with a brainbuster. This nose is not doing me very well. I gotta take a stupid Benadryls. Pardon me, people. Zone. Styles then tries to hit a crossbody from the corner on McIntyre, but McIntyre catches him and puts Styles down with a brainbuster. McIntyre hits Styles with a couple of more chops, but Styles answers back with several of his own. McIntyre then nails Styles with a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker and then follows up with the knee to Styles' midsection. Styles hits McIntyre with a dropkick, goes after McIntyre's knee. Styles then sits on the top turnbuckle, but McIntyre pushes him out of the ring and sends him crashing over the barricade. Styles then hits McIntyre with a tornado DT and delivers a number of strikes on McIntyre. Then nails him with a sliding clothesline and flying right hand. McIntyre then gets Styles up on his shoulders and climbs to the second rope. But Styles pulls him off and then hits McIntyre with a power bomb. Styles then gets McIntyre up on his shoulders, but McIntyre escapes and hits Styles with a future shock DDT. McIntyre goes for a Claymore kick finisher, but Styles avoids and moves and locks in his calf crusher finisher. McIntyre then makes his way to the bottom rope to break the hold. Styles then hits a forearm from the top to the apron, and then he sets up his phenomenal forearm finisher. McIntyre then knocks Styles out of the ring, but Styles manages to land a Pele kick. McIntyre then tosses Styles over the announce desk, and Knight seems to offer some water to Styles by throwing it in his face. Styles then gets in Knight's face, and McIntyre takes advantage. McIntyre sends Styles crashing, and Knight looks to get involved. As Styles rolls up McIntyre for a pinfall, but the referee is distracted by Knight and doesn't see the pinfall. Styles then nails Knight, but that leads McIntyre hitting Styles with his Claymore finisher and with a 1, 2, 3. So McIntyre heads to the land down under. Oh, come on. I had to. It was a fucking slow ball. I had a fucking swing. We head to the back where Caleb Braxton was interviewing Sami Zayn. Zayn was nothing insert in the WWE around WrestleMania season. Zayn then talks about how he was in the main event of WrestleMania last year, and this year he's watching as his window closing fast. Zayn says Randy Orton is one of the best to be in the WWE ring. Zayn then says it won't be an easy path to get to WrestleMania, but it is a path, so he will take it. Footage of the NASCAR champion Ryan Blaney arriving to the arena earlier in the day. Pretty Deadly, Elton Prince, and Kit Wilson were shown walking outside. They look to the sky, and Queen Elizabeth suddenly appears. Wilson was shown the fans' effect of the bruiserweight Pete Dunne did to his hand in the last week's match. Wilson and Prince, they yelled, "Yes, boys," as the segment ended. Totally ridiculous. Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, as well as DIY, was shown warming up for their match. The video then showed recapping the events of last week's SmackDown when Damage Control turned the back on Bayley, and Bayley was shown arriving in the arena in the day, and the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair, then makes her way down to the ring for the match. So she is taking on Mitchum. The match begins with Belair placing Mitchum on the shoulders and looking for her KOD finisher. But Mitchum escapes and lands a couple of kicks to Belair's head. Belair spills to the outside, and Mitchum nails a kick to Belair from the apron. Belair was sent to the ring post, and both competitors go back and forth, landing forearms. But Mitchum nails Belair with a boot to her jaw. Mitchum follows up with a backbreaker and tries to hit a cannonball, but Belair sees her coming and rolls out of the way. Belair then hits a backbreaker on Mitchum and goes for a springboard moonsault, but Mitchum gets her knees up. Belair sees Mitchum's knees and sends Mitchum crashing into the top turnbuckle face first. Belair then delivers several right hands on Mitchum. Mitchum then hits a suplex on Belair, follows up with an eat to feet. Belair then sends out of the ring. Mitchum gets her back in. Mitchum then looks for her to hit the finisher, but Belair counters with a back body drop and her KOD finisher to score the pin. And I am telling you, her reaction is a little overkill. I'm going to tell you this now. It's a little overkill. She knew she was going to win. There was no way that fucking she wasn't going to the elimination chamber. So why the fuck did she act like that? It makes no fucking sense. It pissed me off. You're going to honestly think that they weren't going to send her to Australia? We go backstage where Braun Breaker and Triple H was shown talking. Triple H says Breaker has been impressive and he's anxious to see what he could do on the main roster. Breaker then says he wanted to pick the brain of the game about what he thinks of the former NXT champion should go. Paul Heyman then suddenly appears out of nowhere and shook Breaker's hand. Breaker then left Triple H asking Heyman what Heyman wanted. Heyman says he will give the WWE Chief Content Officer some space, but he will be back next week when he comes back with his tribal chief and The Rock. And that's what you could expect tonight. Bayley then makes her way down to the ring and starts off by saying she's had enough time coming up with what to say about what transpired with Damage Control last week. While she initially thought that some might have said she had it coming, it sounds like the fans were cool with her. Bayley then says the fans have been on this journey with her and stood by her side. A little bit of a face turn. And I like that they're keeping her a little edgy. So Bayley also, they know her heart and passion for this business. Bayley then says Damage Control meant everything to her and they were her family. Bayley also says that she put the group before herself and time again, but they simply took her and continuously laughed at her and stopped talking when she would enter a room. Bayley also says that she has been in this spot to know what better and tells Io she will learn that the hard way. I gotta check something. Hold on. Something about McMichaels. Hold on. Good news, Steve Mongo McMichael is improving, so hopefully he can hold out, go to Canton, and get his Hall of Fame ring. He has been officially inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame, so congratulations to him. And we're always throwing the four fingers because you were a member of the Four Horsemen. Look it up, people, and I ain't lying. Dakota Kai makes her way down to the ring and asks Bayley why she hasn't been answering her text. Bayley then asks Kai where was she last week, and Kai says that she was with her doctors. Kai says she didn't know what Kairi Sane and Asuka and Io Sky were doing last week, but Bayley was adamant and she did. Kai then says she was to put in a tough spot, but she always believed that Damage Control and what Bayley created. Kai also says Sky did too until Zayn and Asuka came along, and while she was initially thought everything would be okay, they got into Sky's head. Bayley then asked Kai why didn't she tell her about what they were saying, and Kai said she didn't know how to. Kai then says she misses herself. Bayley and Sky together and says Bayley has always been like a mentor to her. Kai also says she wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for Bayley, and says she thought everything would just blow over. Bayley then asks Kai where she stands, but before Kai answers, Sky's music hits and she makes her way down to the ring alongside Zayn and Asuka. Kai slides out of the ring as Asuka, Zayn, and Sky surround the ring. Kai enters the ring with a chair once again and hits all three ropes where Zayn, Asuka, and Sky were standing to scare them off. Kai then drops the chair and stands in the ring side by side with Bayley. Bayley then kicks the chair away from Kai. We head backstage where Kayla Braxton is interviewing Randy Orton. Orton recalls Zayn saying that is not a given that people make WrestleMania. Orton recalls how he was injured for WrestleMania last year. Orton says he learned patience because of that. Orton also says he plans on getting into the Elimination Chamber and that the three most destructive letters of all of sports entertainment are the RKO. We get the entrance of the next match, which is the number one contenders for the tag titles. The winners will be getting a shot at Judgment Day. The match begins with Bate and Gargano and both men taking turns to pin one another. Dunn and tags in and hammers Gargano, and Ciampa tags in, drops Dunn with a back elbow. Dunn and Ciampa then end up on the outside. Dunn finds himself on the top of the announcer's desk. Gargano then nails Bate with a tope suicida before Ciampa hits a running knee to Dunn's head. Ciampa then blasts Dunn and Bate with clotheslines and nails both men with double clotheslines plus a reverse DDT on Bate. Gargano then tags in. Ciampa gets Bate up on his shoulders, but Dunn helps Bate down. Gargano and Ciampa then double teams Dunn, and Gargano hits a springboard clothesline on Bate and turns him inside out. Black and cold, black and gold, baby. And the reason why I say it like Adam Cole, because he's the longest reigning NXT champion of all times. Oh, I can't wait either. I cannot wait. It's going to be fucking better than the Super Bowl parade. I am telling you, we need to have a parade in Georgia, or we need to have a parade in Florida. Bate hits an airplane spin on Gargano while simultaneously delivering the swing on Ciampa. Bate then sends Gargano crashing on top of Ciampa, and then he plants him before Ciampa tags himself in and nails Bate with a knee. Ciampa then hits Bate with a Project Ciampa and then delivers a boot on Bate's jaw and running knee to the side of the head. DIY goes for a meet in the middle finisher, but Dunn prevents him from happening by snapping Ciampa's fingers. Dunn then gets blasted on the outside, and Bate hits a modified clothesline. Gargano then nails Bate with a boot and on his jaw, and then hits Ciampa on the outside. Dunn then nails Gargano with a right hand, follows up with a bitter end, and they win the match. They're going to Land Down Under. You're going to hear this the entire time. It's going to get a little nauseating, but it's my playpen, so you're going to play with it. If you don't like it, fuck off. I'm going to bring this up. My mother always wanted to go to Australia. And when I sent her off, and now I just feel like she's there, since the way I feel like she's there. She's in Hawaii, and you know what? I'm glad she's better off. I've made peace with that, but I am not going to stop talking about it. She's my mother. 39 years. She always wanted to go there, and maybe one day I can go there and experience it, and look up at the heavens and look at the seas, and and just say, "Hey, Ma, I made it." I did the same thing when I was in Las Vegas. I said, "Hey, Ma, I made it. You're here with me," and I take her along wherever I go. Sorry I had to get on that, but it is what it is. It's my playpen, it's my playpen. So the winners of the Undisputed Tag Team Championship is Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, and they're going to go to London Under. After the match, all four men fist bump one another as a sign of respect. And I'm sorry, Miz and R-Truth should not be getting a fucking WrestleMania moment. DIY versus what's their faces? Finn and Damien. Please, please, they deserve it. After the we head backstage where Byron Saxton is interviewing Dominic Mysterio. Dominic says he's going to win the Elimination Chamber. Dominic also says that he doesn't care who he has to face in the qualifying match, and Kevin Owens suddenly appears and says he will face Dominic next week. Owens also says he will beat Dominic next week and dedicate the win to Rey Mysterio. R-Truth then shows up and calls Kevin Owens Miz, and the crowd chants, "We want truth." Raw General Manager Adam Pearce and SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis were shown talking to backstage. United States Champion Logan Paul suddenly enters the room and complains about being in the Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Paul complains about having wrestled next week in Utah. Paul says he should be getting the Rock treatment, but he will still do it even though he won't be happy about it. Aldis says next week on SmackDown, Paul will face The Miz in Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Sweetheart, you think you were going to just get the in? No way. No bueno. It ain't going to work like that, bubs. Men's Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Sami Zayn versus the Viper, Randy Orton. The match begins with Randy Orton delivering a shoulder tackle to Sami Zayn, but Zayn answers back by sending Orton out of the ring. Orton gets back inside and the two men lock up. Orton then delivers right hands on Zayn, but Zayn answers back with several right hands of his own. Orton then hits Zayn with more right hands before delivering an uppercut on Zayn that sends him crashing out of the ring. Zayn then hits a moonsault on Orton off the barricade, but Orton lands right into Zayn's midsection and gets him back in the ring. Zayn goes to fly, but Orton catches him with a right hand. Zayn sends Orton crashing on the top of the announce desk. Zayn and Orton exchange right hands, and Orton hits Zayn with a suplex. Orton then delivers a scoop power slam on Zayn and goes for his patent hanging draping DDT, but Zayn sends Orton out of the ring and hits him with a tope suicida. Orton then plants Zayn on the top of the announce desk and delivers a hanging DDT. Orton then looks for an RKO finisher, but Zayn rolls him up. Orton kicks out at 2, and Zayn hits Orton with a blue thunder bomb. Zayn goes for a pin, but Orton kicks out. Zayn jumps off the ropes, but Orton catches him and hits Zayn with an RKO for the 1, 2, 3. And Randy Orton, is going to be heading to the land down under. I know. After this, I'm sorry, after this whole situation and after the review, you're going to stay. I got to come up with something for when we go to Berlin, like Berlin or something like that. I got to get that German out of me because I'm 25% of German. I'm Irish, Italian, Puerto Rican, and German. Yes, I'm a Heinz 57 here. So sue me. And I also found out that I'm also 20% black, which you can't fucking tell. And also, I'm also very, very, very minuscule of Transylvanian. So I could be possibly a direct descendant of Count Vlad, or Count Dracula. And that's why I'm so evil. But anywho, let's move on. After the match, Drew McIntyre suddenly appeared in the ring. McIntyre and Orton stare each other down as the show comes to the close. So we're going to go right into, Raw, and then I'm going to get you out of here and go and let you enjoy your Friday. It's fucking cold up here. We're supposed to get, I believe we're supposed to get some snow tomorrow night into Sunday. I don't know, but I am not liking it. I am definitely not liking it at all. So, it is what it is. I don't know why I just did that. I don't know why I just did that. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Monday Night Raw. That's what I wanted. I went to the wrong fucking notes. I apologize for this. Okay. The lineup for Raw was the Elimination Chamber qualifying match. The almighty Bobby Lashley versus Bronson Reed. Another match for that was LA Knight versus Ivar. Women's Elimination Chamber qualifying match, Liv Morgan versus Zoe Starks. 6-man tag team match, Imperium. The WWE Intercontinental Champion, the Ring General, Gunther with Ludwig Kaiser, or Ludwig Kaiser. And Giovanni Vinci versus the New Day, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, and main event, Jey Uso. Singles match, R-Truth versus the Judgment Day's JD McDonough. Monday Night Raw opens up with the footage shown from the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes arriving at the arena earlier and announced that he will face the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. That's like a hop, skip, and a jump that away. We started off with a 6-man tag, and it was hot. Imperium versus the New Day in main event, Jey Uso. The match starts with Kingston and Kaiser. They go back and forth with right hands and chops until Kaiser hits Kingston with a knee to the midsection, followed up with an elbow and a running knee. Kingston then hits Kaiser with a drop kick and a clothesline and tags in Woods. The New Day then double teams Kaiser and nails Kaiser with their signature stomp in the corner with Jey Uso. I find this hilarious that all three of those men, the New Day and Jey Uso, were fucking mortal enemies for like almost 2 years. And now they're fucking BFFs. Make it make sense. I don't know, but this is fucking bizarre world, I'm assuming. Jey and Gunther are now legal then, but Gunther tags in Vinci into the match. Into the match before he and Jey come to blows. Vinci delivers some kicks to Jey in the corner. Gunther then tags himself into the match, deliver a nasty chop to Jey. Kaiser tags in and delivers some right hands to Jey on his head. Jey then is thrown to the outside. Gunther lands a boot to the face. Kingston and Vinci are now legal competitors, and Kingston and Vinci with crossbody off the top rope, and the New Day double teams Vinci. Kofi then hits a leg drop on Vinci, and Woods tags in. Woods then immediately tags out to Kingston, and Kingston hits Vinci with a splash to his spine. Kingston then nails Vinci with a flying clothesline and a boom drop. Kaiser then tries to pull Kingston off out of the ring, but Kingston prevents him from doing so. Vinci takes advantage of the involvement and sends Kingston out of the ring. Kaiser then sends Kingston into the ring steps. Vinci then gets Kingston back inside the ring and tags in Gunther. The Ring General nails Kingston with an elbow to the face and holds him on top of the second rope. He then hits Kingston with another elbow to the back of the neck and follows up with an uppercut. Kingston then looks to tag out of the match, but Gunther prevents him from doing so and nails him with a chop. Gunther then hits Jay on the apron and locks him in the Boston Crab on Kingston. Jay then gets in the ring and forces Gunther to release the hold. The referee stops Jay and Gunther from brawling. Jay then tags himself in and delivers a clothesline to Vinci. Jay then lands with an open palm strike and a Samoan drop on Vinci. Then hits Kaiser with one of his own. Jay then delivers some hip attack on Vinci, and Kaiser nails Vinci with a super kick. Gunther then wants to be tagged into the match, and Kaiser obliges. Gunther then lands a nasty chop on Jay, but Jay responds with an enziguri. Gunther then sends Jay into the apron. Then Jay climbs to the top rope and delivers a crossbody on the ring Jalal. Jay looks to hit a spear on Gunther, but Gunther sees Jay coming and blasts him. Gunther then nails Jay with a clothesline and climbs to the top rope and looks for a splash. Jay gets his feet up and hits a spear on Gunther. He goes for a pin. Kaiser breaks up the pin attempt, and Kingston sends Kaiser to the ring post on the outside. Vinci tags in and looks to hit a powerbomb on Jay, but Jay puts him down with a super kick. The New Day hits a 1D on Vinci with the help of Jay. Jay climbs to the top rope and hits Vinci with an Uso splash with a 1, 2, 3, and there you go. We get a video package recapping what happened at the WrestleMania 40 kickoff press conference last week. We get the entrance of the next match, which is the men's elimination chamber match qualifier. We get a video package of Andrade, where he speaks about winning the NXT and the United States Championship when he arrived in WWE. Andrade then says winning the titles weren't enough. He had to leave the company to remember who he was. Andrade also now his direction is clear. I would totally, if Drew McIntyre gets that title, that's a match that I like to revive. And I would love to see him take and because we all know that fucking somehow the android is going to fucking get the title on Monday Night Raw, and those two are going to be fucking power couple. Just remember, you're not the first one that did it. Talk to Stephanie and Triple H, okay, bitch. Bobby Lashley versus Bronson Reed for the Elimination Chamber qualifying match. The match starts off with Reed hitting Lashley with a number of right hands in the corner, placing Lashley on the top of his shoulders. But Lashley escapes attempt to lock in the Hurt Lock on Reed. Reed stops Lashley from doing so by sending the Almighty into the corner. Lashley blasts Reed and looks for a spear, but Reed moves out of the way and sends Lashley into the ring post shoulder first. Reed then flies off the barricade and sends Lashley into the timekeeper's area. Reed then attempts a vertical suplex on Lashley, but Lashley escapes and blasts Reed. Then Reed with a suplex and a couple of splashes in the corner. Lashley then hits a shoulder on his midsection, but Reed answers back with a kick and Death Valley driver. Lashley then hits a chokeslam on Reed, then looks for a spear. Reed reverses it into a knee Lashley midsection, then Lashley with a chokeslam of his own, and follows it up with a senton. Reed climbs to the top rope, and Lashley pulls him down and hits him with a spear for the 1, 2, 3. The only thing I'm going to miss is Wade Barry saying "tsunami" in that English accent. So Bobby Lashley is heading to the Land Down Under. He picks up the win, and I'm surprised that the Final Testament didn't have like a hand in this. You know, I thought they would actually maybe show their faces or something like that to try to distract him, but maybe we're gonna get that match at WrestleMania, because Lord knows Karrion Kross is desperately need a match, and I would like to see it as a undercard match. Now with Reed, I know he's Australian, but his wife is pregnant, I believe. So it's like kind of like, I don't know if they're gonna send him or they're gonna try to set up like just like a random match or something, or maybe they can actually have a intercontinental battle royal, and maybe he can go down there and win it, and then he can take on Gunther at WrestleMania. I'm trying here, people. I'm trying to get this guy on the card, but if it's not, it's because of his wife, and he better get paid back at WrestleMania and have a moment there, or have a match to make up for the fact that he can't go back home and be in this big PLE. So we move on. Just like last week's episode of Raw, Jackie Redmond was interviewing Sami Zayn in the stands before the show. Zayn was there. Was the feeling of embarrassment in the sports when you say you're going to do something but fail. Zayn also says he has been feeling this way many times in his career, but the difference now is he has an overwhelming feeling of self-belief. Zayn also says his belief last year is what drove him to WrestleMania and planned on becoming champion, and that was a promise. While the interview was still underway, Shinsuke Nakamura appeared on the big screen with a pre-taped promo. Nakamura compared Zayn to Cody Rhodes, and he said he was swindling people by trying to gain their sympathy to stay in the spotlight. Nakamura also says Zayn's chance was over and he will continue his war path. My first experience with Shinsuke Nakamura was at TakeOver Dallas back at WrestleMania 32 weekend. I fucking kid you not, I legitimately had chills with that match. I actually sometimes go back and watch that match because it was simply, it was a piece of art, a work of art. Those two, and I am so glad that Triple H was able to give him the faith to deal with this newcomer, and it was a great way of sending off Sami Zayn to the main roster. I am thrilled with this match. I was thrilled with it. I was like, it was every time there was a takeover, there was at least 3 matches that I legitimately had, it was breathtaking. And that match, definitely on my list of breathtaking matches. I would highly recommend you all go back to TakeOver Dallas at WrestleMania 32 weekend. Chef's kiss. The WrestleMania trailer that aired, and the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes makes his way down to the ring. The American Nightmare Cody Rhodes starts off by asking Lexington, Kentucky, what they want to talk about. Then they said they could talk about how he will be challenging Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Champion at WrestleMania 40. Cody then says it took him a while to even be able to say that. And the only reason that he could say that is because of the fans. Cody says they made their voices heard, and he is a passionate guy about WWE and his legacy in the company. Cody also says that he doesn't want to be emotional because that would make him a crybaby. Ba-dum-bum. But the one man who didn't want to hear to hear what the fans wanted him in the main event of WrestleMania was The Rock. The American Nightmare showed a clip of The Rock calling his fans crybabies, Cody crybabies. And on the Pat McAfee show, he said he's the fan. He is the fan of The Rock. Rhodes also says everyone has been a fan of The Rock at some point in their lives. I just tolerated him. I wasn't a fan at all. He's a fucking egotistical maniac, just like Vince McMahon. I mean, he's funny. I mean, that I'm not going to take away from him, but I was never a Rock fan. I was always whatever who he was facing. But the People's Champion slapped him during the WrestleMania 40 press conference, kickoff press conference, and he recognizes that he saw in The Rock's eyes. Rhodes tells The Rock that he will hit him back. I would have said, "You hit me. A member of the board of directors hit me, put his hands on me." I would have called Ari Emanuel out and said, "What are you going to do? Are you going to fine his ass?" He put his hands on a fucking roster member. He is management. He shouldn't be doing that. And then Triple H should have came out and said, "All right, you have a valid point." So that at WrestleMania 40, if anybody comes to Roman Reigns, no matter if The Rock or anybody to help him, anybody to come and help him, Roman Reigns will be stripped of the title and be handed to Cody Rhodes immediately. He will forfeit the title. And then that will secure a even match. So then Seth Rollins comes out. Rhodes thanks Rollins for coming to his aid during the WrestleMania 40 kickoff press conference, and Rollins tells Cody that he is welcome. Rollins says, as much as he was looking forward to facing him for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 40, he understands why the American Nightmare chose Roman Reigns. Rollins also says millions of people around the world want to see Rhodes finish his story, and he needs to do exactly that. Rollins also says the landscape on the other side of WrestleMania will be dark if Rhodes loses to Reigns once again, because Reigns will have more power, show up even less, and defend the undisputed WWE title, Universal title. Less. He will defend the title less. Rollins then tells Rhodes that he is the last hope of taking the power and giving it to the people. I have a family text. Give me a minute. Rollins then asks Rhodes what's his plan and reminds the American Nightmare that he was screwed out of the titles by the rest of the bloodline. Rollins also says Rhodes fought his way back to WrestleMania main event, but the deck is still stacked against him, and the bar has been raised. Rollins also says Rhodes is dealing with the biggest star and the most influential man in the entire industry, The Rock. Rollins then says he came to the ring to tell Rhodes that he doesn't have to fight this battle alone. Rollins also recalls Rhodes telling Reigns he wants to take everything from him and says he wants to do the same. Rollins also says that why he stepped out at the WrestleMania 40 kickoff press conference is because he was tired of the aggregate individuals making the choices with no consequences. Rollins then admits to being partially responsible for the man Reigns is today during their days in the Shield, but he didn't imagine the monster Reigns would become. Rollins says the monster now has two heads, and when it comes to the fighting Reigns and The Rock, there is only one man on earth uniquely suited to be Rhodes' shield. That is none other than the architect, the visionary, Seth freaking Rollins. I would like to have the architect back. I would love it so goddamn much. It's not even funny. Having a little bit of the seriousness and not him coming out and gyrating and shit like that. Give it to me all day long. We head backstage where Kathy Kelly informs Jey Uso and the New Day that Jey will be getting an Intercontinental Championship match against the Ring General Gunther next week on Raw. Just that alone, I'm happy about. Jey Uso and the New Day were all pumped to hear the news. There was a pre-taped promo from Liv Morgan and Zoe Starks ahead of their match coming up next. The Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Liv Morgan versus Zoe Starks. So you got to tell me with this. I mean, Jesus Christ. Just fucking... I legitimately could have went to the bathroom, did something else, and knew who the fucking winner was. I mean, come on now. Jesus Christ. It's fucking predictable at this point. The match starts off with Morgan rolling up Starks for a quick pinfall, but Starks kicked out of Morgan, kicks out, and Morgan answers right back with forearms. Starks nails Morgan with a clothesline, but Morgan takes her down with the Hurricane Rana and sends her onto the apron. Morgan then nails Stark with a shoulder. Hold on, I gotta. Sorry. Family texts. But Morgan takes her down with a Hurricane Rana and sends her onto the apron. Morgan then nails Stark with a shoulder to her midsection. It follows up with an insecurity and looks to fly, but Starks catches her with a forearm. Morgan then climbs to the top rope, but Starks puts Morgan on the top of her shoulders and hits a Death Valley driver on the apron. Morgan hits a code breaker to Starks for the second from the second rope, and she tries to hit Stark with a step-up knee, but Stark catches Morgan with a powerbomb and nails her with a dropkick onto the ring apron. Morgan then hits Stark with a crucifix bomb out of the corner, and Stark sends Morgan into the corner. Starks climbs to the top rope and looks to fly, but Morgan moves out of the way and hits Stark with an Oblivion finisher to win and secure her spot in the Elimination Chamber in the Land Down Under. We then head backstage where R-Truth is trying to accompany the Judgment Day to the ring for his match against J.D. McDonough. But Damian Priest made it very clear Truth was not a member of the Judgment Day and never was. Priest tells Truth that every beating he received was a beating, not an initiation. Tonight would be his execution. Damian, I got an idea for you. If you want to do an execution, please execute me in every way possible. Okay. Truth then in Gorilla trying to convince the Miz over the phone to get on a plane from LA to Lexington right now. Raw general manager Adam Pearce was trying to get Truth to go to the ring. So he goes to the ring and the match commences. So this match starts off with McDonough landing a kick to Truth's midsection and sending Truth into the corner. Truth then sends McDonough colliding with the top turnbuckle twice, then delivering a hip toss on McDonough and a running splash in the corner. Truth then follows up with a back body drop and puts McDonough on his shoulders. Then hits McDonough with a Death Valley driver. McDonough then pulls out of the ring by Dominic Mysterio as Truth was going for the pin. Truth lands a number of right hands on McDonough and then delivers a couple of flying shoulder tackles and then puts McDonough on the mat and hits McDonough with another right hand. McDonough then rolls Truth up, but Truth kicks out at 2. McDonough then hits Truth with the Devil Inside finisher to secure the win. The winner is J.D. McDonough. After the match, Judgment Day attacked Truth, but Truth sends Finn out of the ring and stares Damian down. Priest then lands a right hand on Truth, and Dominic, Finn, and McDonough join in. DIY make their way down to the ring with steel chairs to save Truth. We then head backstage where Cody Rhodes approaches Sami Zayn. Rhodes thanks Zayn for coming to his aid last week. Rhodes then believes that Zayn and the fans do too. Rhodes then offers a handshake to Zayn, but Zayn hugs Rhodes instead. The man Becky Lynch heads out to the ring. This whole women's elimination chamber match is completely ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's fucking predictable. Becky Lynch is going to end up fucking winning the match. Unless they're going to do possibly a fuck thing that actually puts Bianca and Becky, and then they're going to face Rhea Ripley at Mania. That's the only thing that I could possibly think of. Because after that, Bianca doesn't have a fucking match. At all. And God forbid both of those women don't have a match. Fucking, it'll be World War 3, 4, and 5 at this point. It's ridiculous. And I cannot fucking believe that Bayley wasn't on the fucking kickoff show for WrestleMania. But they choose to put Bianca Belair because she had a show to fucking goddamn promote. Fuck the show. I couldn't care less about the show. She had no reasons and business to be there. Anyway, moving on. Lynch starts off by saying the man comes around to Lexington, Kentucky. And then she says the road to WrestleMania has been chaotic and confusing at times. Lynch also says she loves it and recalls being 15 the first time she stepped foot in a wrestling ring. Lynch says she has been obsessed with wrestling since and it is the reason that she was able to travel the world, win her first all-women's main event of WrestleMania, be in front of her fans, meet her husband, and have her daughter. Lynch then says, on the flip side, she has missed out on milestones, and she goes to explain her vicious injuries to her daughter, and now her daughter will watch her compete in the Women's Elimination Chamber match. Lynch says her daughter will also get to see the brutality she is capable of, and how she's never been more obsessed than she is now with her getting back her title. It's not her title, all right? Lynch then says that she starts with winning the Women's Elimination Chamber match. And while fans think no one can beat Rhea Ripley, she's not just anyone, and Rhea Ripley has never faced anyone like her. Lynch then grabs the glass of lemonade and makes her toast to Rhea Ripley. Lynch then tells Ripley to enjoy the last few weeks as champion. Then Nia comes out. Jax tells Lynch that despite having differences, she has an immense amount of respect for her. Jax also says she would be lucky if her mom was half the mom Lynch is. And she said she would lead by example if she became a mother one day herself. Jax also says Lynch will win the Women's Elimination Chamber match and will go to WrestleMania with passion like hers for her daughter, in the same way that nothing will stop her from defeating Ripley in the Elimination Chamber event for them to face each other. So Ripley comes out. The women's world champion wastes no time in delivering a number of right hands on Jax, but Jax headbutts Ripley and almost sends her crashing into Lynch. Ripley then stops her before she crashes into Lynch, but Jax delivers a splash. Both Ripley and Lynch. Jax then goes to hit Lynch with a right hand, but Lynch sends her crashing out of the ring with a drop kick, leaving Lynch and Ripley alone in the ring. Ripley then sees Jax on the apron and hits her with a boot, and then stares both Lynch and Jax down. We head backstage where Jackie Redmond interviews Drew McIntyre. McIntyre, he only tries to give the fans what they want, and pushing Rhodes out in right the direction was the real reason he was going after Reigns. McIntyre calls Rollins selfish and says Rhodes should be thanking him. McIntyre then calls himself the underdog, and he says he had to beat AJ Styles, one of the best in the world, just to qualify for the Chamber. McIntyre says he has to win one of the most dangerous matches in the WWE, but will do the right way. And Drew McIntyre then tells Rhodes to get out of their match next week because Rhodes doesn't need this right now. McIntyre warns Rhodes that he may not make it to WrestleMania, just like CM Punk. And I seen a picture of Mr. Punk. Holy mackerel, he's coming back jacked. Guarantee it. We go backstage with R-Truth and thanks DIY for saving him early. They mentioned that The Miz called them and asked them for help. Truth then says he never imagined being saved by DX, and this is why I hate R-Truth. Truth then made some DX references and thanked them, and then we get the entrances for the next match, which is LA Knight versus Ivar for the Elimination Chamber qualifying match. The match starts off with Valhalla trying to capture Knight's attention and allows Ivar to take advantage, but Knight still manages him Ivar with a DDT. Ivar then rolls out of the ring, but Knight goes right after him and put Ivar's face through the announce desk repeatedly. Knight then sends Ivar into the barricade before Ivar does the same to him and hits Knight with a running crossbody. This announce desk is like the unofficial, like, third man or an extra man. I remember when somebody did that, they get disqualified. That's how old I am. I am sorry, people. Knight then hits a suplex to Ivar from the top rope and delivers a number of right hands on him. But Ivar catches Knight with a power slam. Knight then nails Ivar with a shoulder to his midsection, but Ivar answers back with a double underhook powerbomb. Ivar goes through a running cannonball, but Knight avoids it and hits an elbow drop on Ivar. Valhalla then tries to capture Knight's attention once again, and Ivar hits a spinning heel kick on Knight. Ivar climbs to the top rope, looks to hit a moonsault on Knight, but Knight moves out of the way and hits a BFT finisher for the 1-2-3, and he is heading to the land down under, and he's going to be in the Elimination Chamber match. We head backstage once again, where Sami Zayn bumps into McIntyre. McIntyre warns Zayn to keep his name out of his mouth and his nose out of his business. Zayn then tells McIntyre that he is in Zayn's way. McIntyre then polite steps aside, and we have the lineup for the next week's match. 4 major things. We have Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre. Main event, Jey Uso versus the Ring General, Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. Last Chance Battle Royal for the women to qualify. And then we have a 8-man tag. We have DIY, R-Truth, and The Miz versus all 4 members of the Judgment Day. Finn Balor, Damian Priest, JD McDonough, and Dominic Mysterio, Dirty Dom. We head to Raw General Manager's Adam Pearce's office, where Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell met with the Raw General Manager, but was interrupted by Chelsea Green, wanted to be part of the women's elimination chamber match. Hartwell says she wanted to compete in the match so she could get a chance to compete in front of her family. Green then says she wanted a singles match to qualify and not a loser's battle royal. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Starks appeared, and Baszler is very much looking forward to tearing Green apart next week. We get the entrances for the next match, which is Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura, and I could have seen a good 25-minute classic from these two. Anyway, the match starts off with Nakamura hitting Zayn with a knee to the midsection before Zayn holds the ropes down and a low bridge Nakamura out of the ring. Zayn then nails Nakamura with an elbow to his head from the top rope. Nakamura then answers back by delivering a number of knees to Zayn's midsection in the corner. He then hangs Zayn on the top turnbuckle and then hitting with a running knee to his midsection. Oh my God. Oh my God. This post-nasal drip is killing me. He then lands a number of kicks on Zayn's chest, but Zayn catches a kick. Nakamura lands a kick to Zayn's head and hits Zayn with another kick to the back of the spine. Zayn then hits a Nakamura with a Michinoku driver, clotheslines Nakamura out of the ring and flies over the top rope and lands on Nakamura. Zayn and Nakamura exchange strikes with one another, and Zayn hits a blue thunder bomb on Nakamura before Nakamura answers back with a flying knee to the back of Zayn's neck from the second rope. Zayn hits Nakamura with a clothesline, and he charges at him and delivers a right and left hands on Nakamura and suplexes him into the corner. Zayn looks for a haluva kick finisher on Nakamura, but Drew McIntyre makes his way down to the ring before Zayn can hit it. Zayn then notices McIntyre and allows Nakamura to hit a drop kick to the back of Zayn's knee and hits the Kinshasa for the 1, 2, 3. So then after the match, Nakamura then continues and beats down Zayn until the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, makes his way down to the ring to help Zayn. Rhodes hits a Cody Cutter and McIntyre and a crossroads on Nakamura. Rhodes then stands tall the ring and stares at McIntyre as the show closes. And that is it, people. That is it. So, remember, next week, I don't know if it's going to be Wednesday night right after Dynamite or it's going to be Thursday morning at some point. I'm going live with episode 329. On Friday at 10:15, I will already have the stream up first thing on Friday morning or whenever I get an opportunity. I'll set the stream up and you will be notified of at 10 o'clock. I'm going live right after SmackDown for the preview and predictions of the Elimination Chamber. As soon as I get home on Saturday, I'm going live with the review. I don't care what the hell's going on. I'm doing that so I can get done. I can enjoy the rest of my Saturday. And Sunday, we're going to start getting ready for Revolution. You know, we're going to start to build with that more. And WrestleMania coverage will be, if you go on my YouTube here, I made like a schedule out. I'm going to revise it for people to keep everybody on current. So, but Revolution is going to be a fucking regular pay-per-view that day. It's going to be so nice that I can do preview prediction and then the review the next day because I know I'm not going to be able, I know I'm going to end up freaking, it's going to go over past midnight. So it is what it is. But please do me a favor. Like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the bell for all notifications so when I go live, you will know about it or upload a video. Please follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, X, TikTok, and Cameo. Go check me out over there. All Mel's Mat Chat. You can find me there. Please go check out Maestro Classics at maestroclassics.com. Go check out Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com. Go check out Death Wish Coffee at deathwishcoffee.com. And please check out HOG Wrestling at hogwrestling.net. Again, I will be back here either Wednesday or Thursday for the episode 329. And remember the review, the preview and predictions right after SmackDown next Friday. I want everybody to have a great weekend. Please also, April is coming very, very, very quickly. Yeah, I heard it and I covered it in the beginning. I'm not going to say anything until if Stephanie admits to anything or whatnot. So I'm just going to keep that mum's the word. But yeah, I heard about it and we'll see where that goes because I'm not going to comment on stuff that Stephanie had no. I'm not going to mention anything until everything is out, and then I will say because legitimate Stephanie had fucking her hands tied. Her boss was telling her what to do and how to do it, and it was also her father. So I would be in the same boat as she is. Um, if you want to support, what was I doing? April is coming really, really quickly. I am an advocate for autism awareness. My son has autism, and I like to get the word out there. Please do me a favor. On April 2nd, please notation on your calendar. It's World Autism Awareness Day. I want you to wear your best blue shirt, take a picture, put it on any social media, tag me into it. If you're not following me, go follow me. And hashtag it World Autism Awareness Day. I am the voice of the voiceless. You should be too. We need to get this cause out there and we need to get somehow a cure for it. I would love to have a cure before I die. And if we can get the word out, please wear blue on April 2nd. I wear blue and I have autism awareness every single day in my life. Remember, autism awareness is not the end all be all, and it's not the end of your world. It just makes your world a little bit more special and unique. So, with that note, take that lovely sage advice and apply it to the rest of your life because you may never know. The boss could be autistic and you wouldn't even know it. So, that's what I'm leaving you with. I want to thank everybody who joined me and whoever's going to rewatch this or whatever the case may be. I want everybody to have a great weekend. I'll see you either Wednesday or Thursday for episode 329. Enjoy yourself and enjoy the weekend. I love you all.